boys and girls. My name is Bob the Blob, and I'm bringing the little blobs to meet Steve. Oh, you remember Steve, don't you, little blobs? Yeah, so here he is.
Hello, yes, I'm here.
What's your name?
My name's Steve.
His name's Steve. 2. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Well, nearly.
3. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm pretty happy.
Fine. Okay. That's the end.
Steve came here to teach us English and show us his classroom objects.
It's a red bag with orange stars, it's my bag.
No, it's not your bag, it's not your bag, it's our bag, it's our bag. Hey!
Oh, we learned to say what is his.
Hello, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining me on this live stream. Emma is an early bird, she's already with us, and Sheila has joined us as well. Fantastic. It's great to see you. I have a nice cup of tea. Although I say nice, I'm trying to drink it without sugar, and it's very difficult for me. So if I occasionally make a funny face as I drink my tea, then that will be why. So how are you guys? Are you happy? I showed you just a little clip from it's a compilation of the songs that we put together for Wow Bronze. Bronze is one of the books in the series, and I'm currently working on Silver. Would you like some more songs from Silver? I can play something if you like. Give me the thumbs up, give me the yay if you would like a quick song. I assume that you said yes, and I'll sing one anyway. So here we go. This one is teaching about different seasons. When is your holiday? Here we go. Is your holiday? My holiday is in the summer.
In August.
When? Bob asked, what is the summer? It's a season we have here on planet Earth. There are 4 seasons every year, which are spring and summer, autumn and winter. Spring and summer, autumn and winter. Yeah! So there we go. So that one's just got the seasons, and then we talk about, we sing along what are the months of summer: June, July, and August. And I can't believe we're in June. How did that happen so quickly? That's utterly astonishing. But there we go. Okay, hello to Dana. Dana's joined us. You're watching Nguyen. I always get your name incorrect, and I'm sorry. Let's try Nguyen in Vietnam, I believe. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us. And Melissa. Ben wants to know where Maggie is. I don't know. Where is she? Maggie? Have you seen Maggie? I'm behind you! Behind me? Oh, there she is, that naughty, naughty bird. Ben, Maggie is never far away. She's always somewhere. And at the moment, she's on Amazon. We've finally produced another batch of Maggie puppets. They are on amazon.co.uk and can be delivered across Europe. And I know you're going to ask, what about America? I've been promised it is coming soon. Mind you, I've been promised that it's coming soon for a long time. And I've been promising you that it's coming soon. So fingers crossed for that. There we go. So good. It's wonderful that you could join us. I know Sheila's got a sad face. Sheila, as soon as they are on Amazon in America, I will send you a direct message personally, and we can both celebrate. It will be good. She's only got very little wings, so it's quite difficult for her to fly all the way to America. But there we go. Okay, well, let's dive into this live stream. I'm obviously with you today because it is the first Thursday of the month. And for that reason, we are diving into another particular topic. Now, this is a topic that I certainly have to say I am no expert in. I've spent a little time researching. And of course, I think like anybody that starts to open a little bit of a research project on this, you can very quickly get lost in a whole load of detail and contradictory advice, contradictory research, because we are looking at autism and speech delay. Kayla, hi, sorry Kayla, you live in Missouri in the US, just wanted to let you know that my son just turned 2, yay, 2, that's a fantastic age, and he loves your shows. That's fantastic. They've taught him so many things. So thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. As I always say, we would be nothing without fans like yourselves. And all the comments, they really do help to keep us all motivated to produce more. And it's when I go through the comments and we see a few things from parents and teachers of autistic children and children with speech delay that I find it very difficult not to well up a little bit sometimes. We've had a lot of wonderful comments. So I thought it's time that I should jump into this subject a little bit, try to find out more. And of course, perhaps you are a little bit more of an expert in this field than myself, and I really certainly am. I'm willing to learn, and I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings as to how and why the clips that I do with Maggie and also Bob the Blob that you saw earlier have been engaging for children with learning disabilities and a whole raft of different speech delay issues. So with that in mind, I thought what we'd do is that I'll sort of begin just by giving you a sample of some of the reviews that we've had. And of course, if you've got your own story, then please do interact with us. As Flick has already done. Hello to you, Flick. Hi, Steve. My daughter is 5. She has a speech and language delay. Your channel has helped massively. Wow, that is fantastic. Thank you so much and keep up the great work. We're certainly trying to keep going and keep it up. And what I've done is I've made quite a few notes here based on some research. I have handwriting like a spider that's just crawling across the page. I've made some notes as to what I think might be one or two of the hooks that the kids are focusing in on, and especially the ones with autism and speech delay. So as I say, let's go through where I'll give you a brief review of some of these. Sorry, just really... You said, please say hello to Musa. Hello to Musa. Hi, thank you. I was trying to pronounce your name, which is Kanza Raza. Yeah, hello to you. My pronunciation. I should say, as we're talking about all of these things, is that oh dear, my phone is not plugged in. Let me dive under the table to make sure I don't run out of battery. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. I'm back. Okay, a highly technical team we have working here. Yeah, I'll go through some of the reviews that we've had, some of the stories that have been sent my way. Then I want just to talk about some of my limited research. It could be based on old theory, old science. If that is the case, then definitely do correct me. Then I'll go through my list of things that I've identified that I think will possibly help children with autism and speech delay. And then we'll open it up for requests. But at any time, like Rita has just typed that your teaching is easy and good. My baby 3.5 years old has learned so much from your poem. Oh, was that the one about spring? I did enjoy doing that. And Helen has said, we love you, Steve. Thank you so much. Francesca is watching, and that's good to know. She's given us the thumbs up. Right, so let me dive into it then. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Elizabeth Emmanuel. Now, she runs a group called Raising Beautiful Little Minds. And she's really building a community of parents, teachers, speech therapists and professionals to help families all around the world with children that have speech delay. So definitely do check that out. She's on Facebook and she's on Instagram. And I'm sure she's on many other different media platforms. And she got in touch and said, Steve, can you please speak to some of us on speech delay? And I said, well, of course, I'm not a particular expert, but I'd love to start the conversation going. So do check out Raising Beautiful Little Minds. She's just had a giveaway, so I'm afraid you've missed that, but I'm sure she'll have another one, another competition, so you can enter. Excellent. Musa is so happy. Yay! Okay, he's dancing after he heard his name. Yay! Well, why not? Why not? Helen says, I have 2 little boys with ASD And they get so much from your show. Wonderful. Maggie is awesome. And they copy your shows. Good, good, good. Maggie sometimes can be a little controversial. There she is, yes. Maggie's voice, I've heard, is very irritating for some parents. We tried using different voices occasionally. All of them were terrible. But Maggie doesn't want to change her voice. It's her voice. So, you know, she doesn't want to change. Okay, right, so... as I said, let's dive into this then and go through some of the comments sections. Now, I would absolutely love to hear all of your comments and your stories. And if you'd like to email me, I always love to see pictures and some photos or anything from the kids. You can send it to hello@whatsenglish.com. What's English as in WATTS English, as in my name, Steve. What's English? Playing with the words, playing with the language. Yeah, please do check that out. Colvin, your boys really love your shows. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. And Fadwa, you're watching as well. That's great to hear. So, right, okay, let's go over to some of the comments, because what can happen is that you leave a wonderful story, you leave a wonderful review, and it tends to get buried and lost in the comment sections. Of course, we have a lot of children that are really enjoying watching us on YouTube, and they're hitting the keyboard, so a lot of the comments that we get entered are completely random. They're just the kids tapping on the keyboard. Or another type of comment that we get is where they've accidentally turned on the voice assistant, and it's translating just random things that it thinks the children are saying. So we get long comments that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So I would definitely love to hear from any parent out there with children with ADSD, with a range of how should we say, sensory issues, and I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to learn from you as well. Helen says, can you please say hi to Jack and Matthew, please? Jack, Matthew, hello, hello! I hope you're having fun, and don't be naughty, like Maggie, that naughty, naughty bird. Right, so, okay, one of the comments we had here was from Limon. I'll read this to you. It says, Steve, my 3-year-old non-verbal boy with autism is in preschool and on the ABA program, which I believe is the Applied Behavioural Analysis program. And I didn't see much change, but let me tell you, in the last month, that changed. After finding one of your Halloween videos on YouTube, he started repeating everything you said. I don't know how to thank you. I do tell everybody at our school and all my autism groups about you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have no idea how many times you've made me cry with happiness. And that's from Andy and his mum. I have no idea how that makes me cry and well up. And thank you for sharing that. We've got another one here from Pam. Says, my daughter loves watching Steve and Maggie so much. She has Down syndrome and can't talk very much. But when she watches this, she talks a lot and tries to repeat everything, which is brilliant. It has done wonders for her speech development. I can't thank you enough. She also loves anything naughty, so she really laughs at Maggie when learning is great fun, and also for her mum too, which is fantastic. Please show us Maggie. Yes, everybody wants Maggie. They don't very much want me. It's yes, just Maggie. Here we go. Hello everyone. How are you? Well, how am I? I'm busy talking to the mums and dads and the whole internet. Yeah. Hello everyone. Okay, Maggie, you can sit here then. So there we go. She can sit there and she can keep an eye on us in the corner there. Good. Okay, so we've had something where mums and dads have been able to actually watch along with the kids. As many of you know, we try to be silly but never stupid. So we hope that it's a little bit of fun, but not stupid. And dive into another one here. My 2.5-year-old boy Jake loves you guys. His speech has been slow, but since watching you guys, he's improved so much. However, he made the workmen laugh today when he shouted, "It's a crane! It's a crane! It's a crane!" So, and at the museum, he made everybody laugh when he shouted, "It's a bike! It's a bike! It's a bike!" It's refreshing to have a British show to show as we are in New Zealand. And it's good for him to learn a little of where his parents are from, and Z, not Z. Can't wait for our 3-month-old daughter Lily to discover you too. Just do one more. This one's from Melissa. Steve, we love you and Maggie. So much fun and educational. My 6 and 2-year-olds are huge fans, as well as their mum and dad. Thank you. This show has really helped my son master his language skills. He was a little slow in that department, but within the past few months, he's totally bloomed and now can really express himself. He's a little chatterbox. All of these are absolutely wonderful things to read, and there has been one or two that have really sort of had me welling up, but there we go. So please do send any of those stories to hello@whatsenglish.com. You can email us straight there. Francesca, hello to you. Francesca, hi. You say hi to Maggie. Helen, you made our day. That's great to hear. Okay. And Viet, yes. Do I speak Maggie's voice? No, that was Maggie. It's Maggie Magic. She puts the voice into my... It's complicated. It's complicated. But anyway, there we go. So it's also complicated to record when we're in the studio, of course, because we have to put many different layers on. And anyway, you get the idea, right? So. We have been extremely lucky in hearing about how we are able to help children that have difficulty expressing themselves, all the way from being non-verbal to just being slightly delayed, and that is wonderful. It wasn't at all on our minds when we first started. To give you a little background, I am a TEFL teacher. I teach English as a foreign language and also English as a second language. I've been doing that for more than 15 years now, specialising in the very young learners. I lived in Japan for around 3 years, teaching all sorts of different groups, and since then I've been to lots of different countries, and I've been very lucky to have this YouTube channel that has been picked up by a lot of people. Sorry, just reading some comments. Melissa, you're just the sidekick, Steve. That is absolutely true. Maggie is the star of the show. What can I do? But Maggie needs me to carry her around, so I still have a job. Emma says, my little boy is waving and Maggie is saying hello. That's fantastic. And Mimi, is it Mimi? Yes, Mimi. Hi, Steve. Hello to you. And Resida. Okay, I think I've got your name correct. Hello to you. It just reminds me that when I was at school, I was tested about 5 or 6 times because my teacher suspected that I was dyslexic. Each time the results seem to come back and say, well, no, Steve isn't actually dyslexic, he's just very bad at spelling. So there you go, make of that what you will. But as I was saying, we started to make content for children that were learning English as a foreign language, learning English as a second language. And we made these materials along with a whole load of books, to really help with that. But the DVD came with the book. Of course, the DVD gets scratched, it gets lost. So a lot of the parents said, hey, can you put that up on YouTube perhaps? And, we can see it that way. We edit the clips down, so they're not the full versions. They're not the complete versions that go along with the books. But they are there. And one of our biggest surprises was that the materials that we created for children learning English actually proved to be incredibly popular with children that speak English as their mother tongue, as their first language. And we had quite a large following quickly from the YouTube statistics and the analytics. You can see that we had a big following in America and the UK. And that certainly surprised us. What surprised us even more was when we got this feedback about it being really good for children on the autistic spectrum and with a whole host of different speech problems. And what I want to do is just to sort of like go through and take a little look at some of the research that I've done. And it's very, very basic. It's a few TED Talks. It's a few of the papers that are available online. And I want to pull out one or two things so that you, as more expert than I am, can point me in the right direction. Please do, put some links to any particular study that you think would be interesting for me to learn. Because what I want to do is that, of course, as things evolve and change, I don't want to break anything that doesn't need fixing. So if I can understand what we're doing that is useful for these children, then we can make sure that that doesn't change, that we don't rock the boat there, and we continue to do what we're doing. But also, we try to actually create the content with these children in mind as well. I think it's wonderful to try to reach as many children as we can. Melissa Brisida. I'm not sure what that means, but thank you for your comment. We got Sandra Morpra. My students love your videos. That's fantastic. Please say hello to all of your students. I hope they're having fun. If you want to find out more about our books, go to wowenglish.com. Little plug there. We've got Ilkun in Turkey. Hello to you. Simon, hello, hi. And Giovanna, ciao. Ciao to you, Giovanna. And Iris, hello. Okay, good. Thank you. So, right, I'm going to try to go through some of the research and pop in a couple of my thoughts on how that might apply to some of the things that we do on Wow English TV. So let's dive into this then. So once again, as you know, I'm certainly no expert. As I was researching this, I think I came to it as perhaps a parent would if their child is suddenly diagnosed to be on the autistic spectrum. You do very quickly feel quite lost and confused on the wealth of information that's out there and all the contradictory sort of things that seem to actually be there. Not least of which, I would probably say one of the biggest things is the surprise to certainly the range of the autistic spectrum, and there is that sort of conception that almost everybody is on the autistic spectrum. We're all somewhere, and it's such a huge, diverse range, and it can manifest in many different ways. As I was watching, of course, I started to look at my own children and noticed a few things. There was one lady who said that her autistic child, she didn't realise he was autistic, but when the diagnosis came through, he wouldn't ever look at the camera when taking a photo, and he was constantly playing with his hair. And my little one does that. Not all the time, of course, but it sort of makes you stop and makes you think. Of course, the children getting very obsessed about something and really sort of like focusing just on one thing and almost obsessing about that one thing. My eldest is massively into octonauts, watches it all the time, and has been teaching me about things, different creatures in the sea. And of course, they graduated on to more and more sort of, more detailed things, and is now absolutely hooked on Blue Planet. Again, there was a father that was talking about their son who was diagnosed on the autistic spectrum, and he noticed that that his child was absolutely fascinated and really focused on one thing. So that seems to be a little trait of autistic children. But as I say, let's sort of like go through. Just stop to say hi to Eva. Hello to you from Tetin in Czech Republic. And you have experience with autistic children and Asperger's. Fantastic. It would be lovely to talk to you. So do send us an email, hello@whatsenglish.com. Rita said some poems and words are difficult for my baby. According to her age, it would be easy if you will also mention the age, such age for these poems for 3-year-old babies and other for big babies. Okay, just a quick one on this. Of course, as I said, we produce most of the content for children learning English as a foreign language, and because the children they don't have the language. We can make some content for perhaps like 6-year-olds, maybe, sort of like 5-6-year-olds, that when you're watching it as content for learning a foreign language, it can be acceptable to watch something that was maybe originally created for 3-year-old native English speakers. So native English speaking children at sort of like 3-year-old would be happy to watch a cartoon or something from us which repeats a few words. When the children are coming to it a little older, but they don't know the word cat and dog and fish or frog, they're kind of happy to watch something that was actually initially intended for different age groups. So we don't actually put that on to say, okay, this is for this age of children. And of course, children do develop at their own speed. If you are particularly worried about a speech delay, then of course I do think you need to see perhaps talk to the paediatrician, talk to a speech therapist as to what are the parameters within there. So I certainly wouldn't want to give any particular advice and say by this age you should know this or you should know that. So as I say, taking a little look at all of these sort of sensory processing disorders, which autism seems to be linked to processing different sensory information and being hypersensitive to a lot of this. Of course, here we're talking about autism, Asperger's, dyslexia. There can be different learning problems, ADHD, Asperger's, head traumas. I've got written down here oppositional defiant. And of course many others. A lot of these can sort of, from what I've looked at, can actually come out in terms of a particular episode where there's a tantrum or there's some kind of extremely difficult behaviour. It can be linked to either being something that's biological. So it's related to sensory stimulation and overload, or behavioural due to frustration or the need for attention or different behavioural characteristics. Now, in terms of the sensory overload, I wonder if some of the things that we do could perhaps help. I always wanted Maggie to be a magpie, because magpies are naughty birds that steal something. But her being black and white and not being a multicoloured parrot could perhaps, sort of help the children to see, to not see too much colour. And of course, Maggie tends to fly in quickly and come out quickly. She'll do something quite fast and quite naughty. So as she dives in and pulls herself out, I wonder if that could have something to do with these children enjoying some of our clips. And perhaps also the uniform that I wear. I always wear a red t-shirt and blue jeans. The reason for this is just continuity, so to make sure that if I have to record something, change something a little bit different, then I can go back and record it. I don't have to think, what was I wearing on that particular day? But it's a block of red, so it's a block of colour. I often find that with children's entertainers, there's a tendency to wear very flamboyant costumes, to have like big hats with lots of colours and stars, different colours and spots and shapes, which I think is absolutely fine, of course, for the majority of the children. And I wrote down that I should really try to sort of say typical children and autistic children, and certainly not do that sort of like autistic children and normal children. And I think it's important that we try to sort of get this language correct, so we're not looking at it in this sort of like blinkered way. So for more typical children, having the stimulation of all these colours and things being fast-paced, I think that maybe having a black and white bird having a simple red t-shirt with blue jeans and always wearing the same things. I wonder if that particularly helps, because as I was researching a little bit, there was this quite interesting quote that I saw, which was that that if a child is bipolar, they tend to have more relatives that are in creative careers, and autistic people tend to have more relatives that are in technical careers. And the fact that the autistic brain tends to be slightly more visual, more pattern-based learners, and mathematical. And it was interesting to hear somebody say, try to explain it to a typical person like myself. They explained it as that the autistic brain tends to think in pictures, not in language. And that struck a chord with me. I think that was particularly interesting. Oh, hello. I need to change my focus, don't I? There's a sun gone in. Uh-oh, I've gone really dark all of a sudden. But hopefully that's a little better for you. Hello. Maybe if I sit back a little bit. But I've gone very dark, but I hope the quality is still good enough to you. But as I said, it was explained as the autistic brain thinks in pictures, not language. Now, I certainly don't know if that's true, and I would love to read more. So point me in the right direction, and of course, add your comments for your experience on this. But the way we came to produce the materials were that, of course, when we take away the dependency on language, because we are teaching children that don't have this language as their mother tongue, then it became obvious to us that we needed to show everything. You know, of course, if you're learning the language, I can't just say, you know, a cat is always really nice, blah, blah, blah. I have to show what a cat is. So we always try to show what it is that we're talking about, show what it is that we're drilling. And I wonder if that also fits in with the slightly more autistic mind. So some of these things, I think, I hope I'm picking up on something that maybe rings a chord with parents and teachers of autistic children. So that would be definitely good for me to sort of like, you know, to get your feedback, get your confirmation on. And I wondered sort of like if you're seeing all of these, if you're thinking in pictures. And of course, if somebody's maybe showing you lots of different colours, showing you lots of different patterns, is describing lots of different things, and your brain is going through as many different pictures as it possibly can, then I'm fairly sure that would lead all of us to have some kind of sensory overload. If you can imagine that, you know, I was to say to you, cat, and instead of actually sort of thinking, okay, cat, I know what that means, and moving on, your mind actually throws up many different pictures of different cats, the cats that you know, the cats that you have seen. And of course, you know, and if I say, hey, look, it's a cat, it's a dog, it's a fish, it's a bird, and we went very quickly through all of these things, I think you'd be struggling to sort of catch up. And perhaps that leads into the fact that what many people that have researched this comment a whole load more than me have come to is that they see that there's definitely an intense focus and concentration. Certainly I've seen videos of autistic children playing with toys, and they meticulously lay them out in a beautiful spiral pattern, and they're absolutely you know, focused and concentrated on this pattern of making this beautiful structure. And you know, it's really fascinating, obviously, to watch. But with this becomes, I guess then it becomes very difficult to actually sort of like shift your attention onto something else. If you are totally focused on something, of course, shifting your focus onto something else is going to be very disruptive. and I think it would make you wary of change. So that unpredictability, when you know that you have this time, you're focused on this, you're going to get it done, and then you can move on to the next thing. If somebody comes in, interrupts your routine, or changes something, or something becomes unpredictable, then of course it does seem to then spark off maybe an episode of bad behaviour, maybe aggressive, or a sort of a particular incident. Now, I wonder again. This could be where we as teachers of English, as not as the children's mother tongue, we know that we need to stop and we need to drill the language. Now, drilling can sound quite negative. But of course, when we're teaching English as a foreign language, we need to give the model. We need to introduce it in a fun and interesting way to get the children's attention, to get them to look and get them to listen. But then we do need to repeat and repeat the word. We need to give practice to how they can actually say it, how they pronounce it. And of course, if we can practice it and practice it and practice it in lots of fun and interesting ways, then maybe that pause in the story that we put in there could also serve as a little bit of time out on the pacing of the story. So the story isn't just throwing up, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next exciting thing. We're taking time just to take a look at this language and slow it down a little bit. And I wonder if that's also something that these children with autism and speech delay kind of like. The fact that they have time to catch up with the story, that it's not going to be just moving on in the fast pace. And of course, we've seen many cartoons getting faster and faster. I use my children as an example. I showed them a cartoon that I watched when I was a little boy, and they got relatively bored quickly. They wanted that quick change. The worst is like SpongeBob SquarePants that constantly changes. It's throwing something at you all the time. So I wonder that perhaps is that how and why we've had some success here with with children with these learning difficulties. So what I sort of came to look at here was some research and some comments. It was a TED Talk by Miss Temple Grandin, and I hope I've pronounced that name correctly. She is on the autistic spectrum, and she's had quite a lot of brain scans and has done a lot of research here, and shown that this sort of fear of change and this worry, this anxiety is definitely highlighted in children on the autistic spectrum. And certainly in her case, and I don't know if it's true for all cases, but it stems from having a larger amygdala, the sort of fear center in the brain, and a smaller cerebrium. I'm not sure exactly how that would correlate, but certainly having a larger amygdala, a larger fear center and anxiety center is going to obviously, push you to the point where you are going to be a little bit more worried about change, about unpredictability, about upsetting a routine. I see this a little bit in one of my cousins who has been diagnosed on the autistic spectrum. Anything that changes, quick changes, will lead to a sensory overload episode, and I've witnessed that as well. And I think in that case I was relatively calming. Of course, when there's so much coming at you all the time, then just being able to slow down, to stop. So I wonder, like I say, some of the drilling, which originally was a technique that we used for teaching English as a foreign language, is also useful in this particular instance. Melissa says, very thoughtful. Thank you very much. I hope that's true and it's not complete nonsense that I'm talking. Anyway. That was definitely interesting. What also Miss Temple Gradin said was that certainly for her, she found it difficult in hearing hard consonants, hearing those hard consonant sounds. Now, I wonder if that ties in with something, not something that we're doing on Wow English TV, but something that I am. I am from the Midlands, from a small town called Rugby in the heart of England, and we're not north and we're not south. And the Southern English accent tends to have a longer and softer vowels. So they say things like laugh, bath, path, and grass. And where I'm from, we say laugh, bath, path, and grass. So because I have a short northern vowel sound, I think maybe that gives a greater degree of clarity to the consonants. So if I say bath, it's a little harder to see than bath. Then you can actually, you can really sort of like hear those different sounds, and it stands out a little bit. It has been something from my teaching practice over 15 years of teaching children in a variety of different countries and teaching them English as a foreign language. A lot of the mums and dads have said, okay, it's great that you teach our kids, that's absolutely wonderful, and we are so happy that we can understand you. That your accent is so clear, it's much easier to understand than the teacher they had last year, or somebody else that I met. And I think that's just a happy coincidence, perhaps, that my particular accent isn't very strong. It's not a strong northern accent. It's not a strong southern accent. It's a rugby accent. But on top of that, as I've said, I've been teaching for many years. I've been teaching English as a foreign language, and therefore having to communicate to somebody who doesn't speak English as their mother tongue, I've had a lot of practice in trying to grade my language, but not oversimplifying, and certainly always try not to be condescending. And the way I always try to approach talking to the children, even if English is not their mother tongue, is at a natural speed, but I will try to repeat the target language as much as I need to. I'd give one quick example to say, hey, look, this is my pen. Yeah. Oh, where's my pen? I've lost my pen. I'm looking for my pen. Who's seen my pen? So the target language is in there all the time, but it's not just like, pen, hey, ho, 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 pen, yeah. Although maybe some mums and dads might think it is. But we try to always keep the language relatively fluent. We don't oversimplify the language. We don't, if I need to use a complicated tense, then it's in there. And certainly try not to speak to the children in an overly simplified or condescending way. Maybe that's again another one of these reasons why we've had lots of comments from parents to say that it's really worked for their children who are native English speakers. It's helped them their language develop, and also if they've had any particular learning difficulties in the past. Just to sort of wrap up, because I know we've been going for a long time and I don't want to take up too much of your Thursday. So I just want to sort of like finish on perhaps, and another thing that I've got is that the research seems to suggest that it's the odds are 4 to 1 in favour of males being diagnosed with autism. There seems to be a disproportionately large amount of boys on the autistic spectrum over females. And I wonder if the fact that, of course, just being a male voice that's involved in kindergarten and early learner education could have something to do with it. There's some kind of maybe connection. Certainly, the having the male role model as well at a very early age to sort of like see a man having fun that's hopefully occasionally silly, but never stupid. But there we go. So I think that kind of finishes my list, really, of the things that I think we're doing. That means that is being enjoyed by certainly kids all around the world. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, and your feedback on that. Sorry, I just put one last thing here. Is that I also wonder if something that we're doing is the fact that I'm not from a theatrical background or a kids entertaining background. I'm actually I trained as a hydrologist. So I transitioned into a much far different career than I set out on. So sort of like being trained as a hydrologist, it really looks at sort of systems and the approach of systems and if this, then that, and how things like move through a system. So again, I sort of like put that in, and the fact that I don't come from like a real sort of like over theatrical background or in kids entertaining. Some of the children's entertainers that I have seen, they're so over-expressive. They're so over, hey, yeah, all the time. There's a lot of energy and lot of bounce in there, which I think I have as well, but it's moderated between the two. Anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd throw a lot of those ideas out there. And just to catch up on a few things, Maria says, hi Steve and Maggie, we're watching your videos on YouTube right now. Fantastic. Please do like and subscribe and click on the bell so you know when we release a new video, but we do a new video every Wednesday afternoon, so you can always see it there. Tanya says, my daughter loves your channel. She's 5. She speaks 3 languages. Wow, that's fantastic. English, French, and Russian. Thanks a lot for helping her and her parents. That's wonderful, Tanya. Wow, that's a very special kid you've got there. Nazia says, hello, Maria. But your teaching methods have a system, and my children's speech has come on so thick and fast because of your videos. Wonderful. Yes, we really do try to, again, maybe it's from that scientific sort of education that looking at a system. This system has been put together in all of our books and materials that you can find on wowenglish.com. My little daughter's coming in just to say hi. Here she is. So we've subscribed. That's actually wonderful to hear. Okay, let's take a little look at that. Sorry. My little one's just finishing with chicken pox. You say hello to everybody. You say hi. No, you're going to be shy. She's just finishing with chicken pox, so at home with Daddy. You've been home a long time with little chicken pox, haven't you? So Emily says, hi Steve, I live in Hong Kong. My son likes to watch your videos. That's absolutely wonderful. And Nazia, my kids are crazy for your videos. Guys, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. I'm definitely wanting to learn a lot more about autism and speech delay. Please point me in the right direction if you have a very interesting study that you think I can take a look at. If there's something that you've picked up on that you think is hooking your children into our content, then please do let me know. Okay, marvellous. Thank you so much. Yeah, you got some nice comments. But okay, it's time for me to disappear. It's time for us to go play, isn't it? Should we have a play? No. Okay, it's not time for us to play. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do take care. This video will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel, What's English? Yep. Well, I have to stop, as you can hear. Take care. Thank you so much. Okay, do take care. I'll be online to answer any questions. I'm going to go through the comments and answer you. Thank you so much. From me, from Maggie, and from my little one, do take care. And I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks.